military, which you would think, oh, good for him, he rose through the ranks. He did not. It was given as kind of this way of saying, hey, good for you. But then what happened was, at the age of around 60, I guess it was in more of the mid-50s, the interstate came through, and it totally bypassed where his gas station was. And literally within a matter of years, his sales in Kentucky Fried Chicken and gas went low, low, low. And so at the age of around 60 or so, he folded up his shop. So here he was again, starting at zero. And then at 65, something weird happened. He got a Social Security check. And when most people decide at that point, hey, it's time to let go, relax, enjoy. Life was tough for you. Relax. This guy decides, you know that Kentucky Fried Chicken? It's sold pretty good. Now, he was not a very business-savvy person, so anyone in business, I will tell you, his business plan was not on par. So what he decided to do is he would go to local bars and restaurants, and he would give them his 11 herbs and spices, and he said, if you sell a chicken wing, pay me $10. If you sell a chicken leg, pay me 15 cents. And it was on a handshake. Can you imagine this? It was literally Adonis on a handshake. Please, restaurant owner, you don't know me. I'm all the way out there in Lexington, Kentucky, and you're all the way here, 4 hours away in another state. I want you to send me money. Nothing was written. It was literally a handshake. And so he goes about his days, and he literally documented it. Because this guy had experienced so much failure in life, he talked to over 1,000 people. Because for him, he was doing something that he loved, and that was giving people something that he thought they really wanted. And all of a sudden, in the mail, money started to come. Now, you can't send money anymore, but that's what happened. All of a sudden, this KFC literally blossomed. So the first KFC actual restaurant was actually opened in Utah, not Kentucky. And so when most people are literally relaxing and waning and just doing what they want, this man decided to go after what he truly wanted. Now, he probably didn't know what he wanted at 20. Oh, I'm going to create this huge billion-dollar Kentucky Fried Chicken empire. Didn't even exist. But what he did is he took his different skills of perseverance, his skill set of negotiation and sales, and he blended it into something that was magnificent. And so someone would say, well then, why did he do that right from the beginning? I want to shortcut that process. I want to go right to that at the beginning. Because you don't have the skills. And he didn't have the skills. And that's the struggle for a lot of us, is that we want that CEO role, we want that leadership role, but we haven't led anybody. We haven't gotten involved in any organizations. If, let's say, I were to start a business in construction right now, I don't know plumbers, I don't know electricians, I don't even know somebody that can put out asphalt on the driveway, or who would pour the concrete for the foundation. My network in that field is so small that I can't do it. And so that's one of the biggest struggles, is that building relationships takes time. The other thing, when it comes down to it, when you look at your career and what you're deciding to do, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to go work for an employer and say, you know what? I do not like the way that you guys do business, and I'm leaving. Now, I will say, I'm a big believer in what I call the Tarzan method. That's right, where you don't let go of one vine until you got the other one in hand, right? So keep your job. Even if you hate it, if you can, do not leave in the middle of the night. Do not just pack up yourself and be like, okay, peace out, I'm leaving this place. If you can, leave, give 2 weeks. If you can, get that next job secured first. I think one of the biggest struggles that you have as a generation is that you are melding the new world with the old. So the old, I like paper. I like face-to-face. The new, you're used to digital, everything to you, a DM, an email, a text. It's all communication for you. For me, my first cell phone, they used to nickel and dime us literally on how many texts we used to send out, if you can imagine, right? They used to nickel and dime us on how many minutes I could call. I would literally wait until 8 p.m. to make a phone call on a Friday night because it was unlimited. And I would get so many phone calls made in that weekend, but I would never talk to anybody between Monday to Friday. And so that's one of the struggles, I think, is that a lot of times the young folks, and I'll call young, under the age of 30, is that you apply just online. The reality is that, I don't know if I haven't seen any out there yet, but there's employment companies. And so those entry-level jobs that are constantly needed at corporations are actually outsourced by a company called Burnett Staffing. And so if you apply online, guess where that resume goes? Nowhere. End of the line. You've just applied online at Chevron.com, and guess what? You need to actually apply at this staffing company because they're the ones that actually deal with hiring people in the HR company, the HR department. And so I'll kind of just dovetail here a little bit here at the final lift. I think a lot of times one of the biggest things that can be helpful, can be hopeful, can give you some faith, is to follow that gut, to follow what your stomach says, follow what you want to be doing. And that's going to be powerful. Now, if you're a person of faith, that means you might pray, and you might ask if this is the right thing to do. One thing that I have firm understanding is whatever we plan to do, God can plan a lot better than we can. And so what mistakes, what missteps, what struggles, what strife you might find yourself in is exactly what you need to go through. That person dumped you so you could find somebody better. That guy walked out on you because you needed somebody of better quality. That company fired you because you had better talents to be better placed somewhere else. One of the things that education struggles at is they tell you that you need to be well-rounded. And no, you don't. Not in a world right now where it's all about specifics, expertise, and specialties. Your best paid attorneys are specialists. They don't do everything. They only do personal injury. They only do estate planning. They only do business planning. Your best surgeons or doctors are like surgeons, not for the entire body, but only for the heart, only for the spine and brain. If you look at athletes, your best athletes isn't the line, right? Because they can kind of jump back and forth. It's the quarterback. That dude does one thing. He either throws or he orchestrates. Well, I guess he hands it off. If he's any decent, then he'll run. But typically, he's paid for the arm, right? You think about your best gymnasts. Most of them are very highly specialized in one specific event. Now, there's very few, right, that can kind of do the all-rounded, but they're few and far between, right? They're the one out of